Sri Lanka's prime minister says the country is officially bankrupt.
The South Asian country is struggling with an ongoing economic crisis, which is only worsening with each passing day. The country defaulted on its debt for the first time in its history as an independent nation back in May. Since then, its foreign currency reserves have run dry, along with the nation's fuel reserves, driving the country deeper into economic despair.
Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for daily videos on everything going on in cryptocurrency. We keep you informed, news, opinion, perspective, everything crypto. The top story of the day, world news and crypto news: Sri Lanka, the country, is bankrupt. This is coming from the Prime Minister himself. As the country suffers its worst financial crisis in decades, leaving millions struggling to buy food, medicine, and fuel because Sri Lanka is bankrupt. In Sri Lanka, it's a small country, but it's not so small. Sri Lanka is significant in size and scope. Sri Lanka has a population comparable to Australia or Taiwan, and a GDP equivalent to that of Slovakia or Panama. This isn't a tiny nation failing. They have no food, they have bank runs, protesting, food scarcity. This is why we need Bitcoin. This is why we need permissionless systems not controlled by the state. And understand, most people think bankruptcy is something that could never happen to them. Yet 1.5 million Americans a year file for it. Now imagine this happens to your country and you have zero control over the events and monetary policy that led to it. Bitcoin is an insurance policy against this. The big question is, how did Sri Lanka get to this point?
The biggest question is, how did Sri Lanka get to this point, right? And what does it mean to be a bankrupt nation in terms of getting financial help now from other countries?
Yes, it's an astonishing situation. And while we are sitting here in Washington, really watching the Ukraine war and focused on the geopolitics of Eastern Europe, it's very important to pay attention to Sri Lanka and to see how the downstream effects of the Ukraine war have provoked crises elsewhere. Now, I don't want to reduce this just to an effect of the Ukraine war. Sri Lanka's issues are deep and go stretch back years. There's been a legacy of government mismanagement, of massive overspending, of projects that made Sri Lanka indebted to countries like China. But what we've seen right now is that they are in a situation where they not only do they not have enough money to pay foreign reserves to pay for things like fresh shipments of oil, but they don't have enough money to pay for the debts they already have. So they are essentially bankrupt. They are in need of billions of dollars of aid. And all the while, you're seeing an incredible unraveling of an entire nation. There's no fuel, so people aren't able to go to their jobs. Schools have been closed. Food prices have surged. And the government is resorting to desperate measures like asking public sector workers to grow crops in their backyard, or even encouraging them to move overseas so they can get jobs abroad and send money back home. So it's a level of desperation and crisis that we've really never seen, especially in this one country.
What's happening in Sri Lanka is happening because of problems with centralization, problems with human greed and stupidity, problems with the few making choices for the many, problems with corrupt power and unstable, ever-changing monetary policies, the result of currency and property being corrupted and controlled. Inflation in Sri Lanka is over 50% per the government metrics, meaning inflation in reality is likely well over 100%. This is why Bitcoin exists. I truly hope some people save a little in Bitcoin and can make it through this. Take a look at what's happening in Sri Lanka. What's happening in Sri Lanka is going to be happening in many other places around the world. Fiat currencies with enough time always get devalued and inflated away. Bitcoin can help with this.
Victory!
so you hate to see things happen like this. But sometimes, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, sometimes it's necessary. I hope that 0 casualties result out of the situation in Sri Lanka. Driving people to a breaking point because of your stupid-ass central planning will cause this. Hopefully, they will try something new, like Bitcoin. And Sri Lanka is one of many countries where there have been massive protests for one reason or another, but it is due to people's unhappiness with centralized power, specifically their government. And when you control the money, you control the people. So opt out of the fiat system, opt in to Bitcoin. And then countries that are doing okay, the more first world countries, they don't want to lose their power. For instance, Bank of England wants stricter rules for crypto to avoid systematic risk. What you need to understand about this story is this. The Bank of England today called for better regulation of cryptocurrencies, noting vulnerabilities in the market. In the UK Central Bank's Financial Stability Report published Tuesday, it said that, quote, crypto asset valuations have fallen sharply, plunging from a peak of nearly $3 trillion last year to that of under $1 trillion today. It said that although this wipeout did not pose risks to financial stability overall, tougher laws are needed to protect the wider financial system in the future. So they realize Bitcoin crypto is inevitable, and they're trying to get as much control over it as they still can. Some people are leaning more into it. Some people are trying to crack down on it more. Either way, this isn't going away. The genie is out of the bottle. Now, talking about Bitcoin adoption specifically, because with everything like this going on in the world, everything like this is the use case for Bitcoin, right? How does Bitcoin look from a fundamental level? The real signal regarding Bitcoin adoption. Every price drawdown, some new market participants leave that were only here for price going up anyway. But every price drawdown, there's a higher base of people who gain conviction in Bitcoin and stay. More and more people every cycle become Bitcoiners, join the cryptocurrency industry. And another takeaway for Bitcoin as this happens, the Gini coefficient of Bitcoin just keeps getting better. Wealth concentration of Bitcoin is dropping. This proves all the naysayers wrong when they say a deflationary currency like Bitcoin encourages hoarding. Everyone should try to get 0.1337, 0.28, whatever it is, 1 Bitcoin. Everybody should try and get your Bitcoin hodl stash and hodl until 2030. Not financial advice, but that's what a lot of people are banking on, because most people don't realize that Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay. In 1995, people were not sure that the internet was here to stay. Cut to 10 years later, they were sure that it would be part of their everyday lives forever, and we're in that transition with Bitcoin and crypto. Now, speaking of crypto, let's talk about the next level for some of our favorite blue chip DeFi protocols. If you're wondering what's the future of DeFi, maybe it's something like this. MakerDAO, the blue chip collateral stablecoin in the Ethereum ecosystem, votes to allow 100 million DAI, which is their stablecoin loan, to US Bank, a traditional financial bank. The key takeaways are as follows. MakerDAO community has passed a proposal to integrate a U.S. bank in its collateral system. The Huntington Valley Bank has a debt ceiling of $100 million. It will be able to borrow the sum in DAI, depositing collateral into an off-chain account. 5 other real-world assets have been integrated to MakerDAO, with more suggestions in discussion on the government board. The protocol recently voted to allocate $500 million in DAI into bonds. So, the next level of DeFi could be something like what MakerDAO is doing. 1. 100 million vault by a commercial bank. 2. 500 million allocation to U.S. Treasuries and bonds. 3. 5 billion PSM price sensitivity measurement for unprecedented community/voter participation. Per usual, Maker's bear market experiments will set up the rest of DeFi for a bull. One way to think about it. And then speaking of the genie being out of the bottle in general for cryptocurrency, NFTs continue to take off when it comes to integration and adoption with many of our favorite crypto protocols like Ethereum's L2 Polygon. Reddit has started selling NFT avatars on Polygon. So NFT mania has cooled off since the start of the year, but that hasn't stopped Reddit from launching its own limited edition NFTs. The social network revealed in a Thursday blog post that it is launching a series of collectible avatar NFTs that users can set as their profile pictures on Reddit. Apart from being NFTs, the new avatars will differ from existing Reddit avatars in that they will only be available for purchase through a new dedicated storefront and will give purchasers licensing rights to use them both on and off of Reddit. Per the announcement, the new NFTs will be hosted on Polygon. Reddit noted that the Ethereum-compatible blockchain's low fees and sustainability commitments factored into the decision to choose Polygon over other chains for its new NFTs. Speaking of the genie being out of the bottle, I love to peruse non-crypto, whether it's culture, whether it's news, non-crypto websites to see what they're reporting on crypto, and this is something I like to see. NFTs generating big revenue for musicians, according to Billboard. They tweeted this out, had an associated article with it. Amid a bear market, the top 10 music NFTs generated more than 1,000 ETH in trading volume across primary sales and secondary markets. Probably something, and this is not only a big win for NFTs, not only a big win for musicians, but this is a big win for advertising for Ethereum and cryptocurrency. How about this? Nickelodeon and OpenSea are taking nostalgia to a whole new level. On July 15th, 12 hand-drawn one-of-one Rugrats and Hey Arnold PFPs will be up for auction. They'll be part of an exclusive collection only available on OpenSea, so Nickelodeon getting into the game. And of course, while Ethereum is still the place to be with many things, including NFTs, there's plenty of other options that can still gain major market share. Cardano NFTs are routinely third or fourth in daily sales volume without any marketing. VC money or Coinbase, FTX, Binance, OpenSea integration. It just shows the power of a committed community that continues to grow organically. If you can't see the inherent value in that, I don't know what to say to you. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. Tell me what you think about everything in the comments below. Let's continue this discussion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you tomorrow.